Hello. I have a message for you. This is the first day after starting off my 75th year on the planet. I got a message for you. I want you to show me some thumbs up and some hearts for those of you that have goals and dreams. One of the things that I'm committed to do, and I wish I'd done that years ago, was to speak to people who could hear me. Now, Jesus said, "My sheep shall hear my voice." He also said, "He who has ear, let him hear. He who has ear, let him hear." Those people who are of awareness, who can value what I have to say, let them hear. And so I remember spending a lot of time trying to get people to hear me, and they weren't supposed to hear me because what I was saying did not relate to them and they did not identify with it. So I want you to learn a thing or two from me. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, as the commercial says. So I want you to like this page and share it. I want you to like it and share it. Yesterday was my birthday, and one of the things that I have hot flashes. I just want to just warn you. I used to laugh at my mother and my sister. I call them power surges. Power surges. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, did you turn the air conditioner on? I turned the air conditioning on and I turned it off. I turned it on and I turned it off. So I'm having a hot flash. Oh my God. But I'll give you this message. And reason I'm doing this is because I'm here to motivate and inspire people. And what I realized, if you look on Facebook, the people of low consciousness, they don't take holidays. They don't take days off. Any day you can find people on there fighting, acting crazy, saying all kind of crazy stuff, dancing. I mean, just all kind of foolishness. I mean, they don't take any days off. And they flood it with all kind of information that, no, I don't want to say information, they flood it with all kind of stuff that don't help people. And I always remember God asking Elijah, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" And I asked that question to myself. I remember I spoke at West Angeles Church in LA, Bishop Blake, and I did this sermon, and I talked about that sermon. He asked Elijah when he was hiding in a cave, "What are you doing here?" He didn't ask, "What are you doing in there?" He asked, "What are you doing here?" In other words, I'm with you. So what are you doing here? I'm with you. You have no reason to be afraid of anybody. I got your back. And so I always ask myself, when I see things on YouTube and various platforms that's of low consciousness from my perspective, I ask myself, what are you doing here talking about them? At least they believe in their works so much, they put it out there for people to see it and respond to it. You know, they have fights, all kind of stuff. You've seen it. I don't have to tell you about it. So evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. I had a friend who came in 3 days ago from Australia. I do intense one-on-one coaching on how to discover your power voice, how to tell your story. And Judd Armstrong from Australia, my brother from another mother, we had just an incredible time together. You ever meet somebody, it seemed like you've known each other forever? It was that kind of connection between us. And what I love about Judd is that he decided, and if you ever seen the headphones called Jaybird, That's his invention. Okay, that he came up with that. He came to America with a wedding ring, a dream, and determination to make something happen big with his life. And he did. He did. That's all he had. He used to work on a job making $10 an hour, but he worked his way up. He came to America from Australia, an immigrant, and all he had was a wedding ring, a young lady that he was going to marry, and a dream and vision and determination and drive to make it happen. And we spent time working on his signature message, and I'm looking forward to sharing the stage with him. He just has an incredible story, and he is a person that has a commitment to make a difference on the planet. So I have a message for you, and I decided I don't want to miss any days not talking to you. Oh no, my children, they say, "Oh, Daddy, come on. You know, if you're on YouTube all the time, nobody will come see you when you go in public." Well, that's okay, but I'm not gonna wait for that to do events in between time. I might not even decide to do any more public events. I'm going someplace this coming weekend. My business partner nowhere out in California, and Oregon, never been there, and Vegas. So, but I want to talk to you about your dream. What is it that you have in your heart that you want to do? And I asked a question. I was with a friend. I said, if you had 6 months to live, I said, what would you do? And he said, truly, he said, and he's talking about what he did do, and he said, but among the things he would not do was what the business that he was in. And he said, what would you do? I said, I'll speak all the way to the end. And he said, why? I said, because this is what I do. I love this. This is who I am. I was born to speak. I was born to change lives. And so I ask you, if you knew you had 6 months to live, what would you do? How would you spend your time? Who would you spend time with? Would you do the same thing you're doing now? Would you keep your job or your business? Or would you be around the same people? Would you communicate with the same people you communicate with now? Or would you reach out and decide that there's somebody that you need to spend time with that you haven't been spending time with? Why don't you like this page and share it? I want to share something with you. I'll never forget, I was in the Ohio legislature, had just got reelected. And my sister called and said Mama had breast cancer. And I remember I was sitting between Reverend Phil Hale from Columbus, Ohio, and Representative Mike Stenziano from the Ohio State area. And I looked at them and I said, you know what? I said, today is my last day. I said, you kidding? No. Why? I said, my mother's sick. And I'm going home and I'm going to take care of her. I promised her that. I said, wait a minute, man, you just got reelected. You're the chairman of the Human Resource Committee and the Education Committee. I said, listen to me. I enjoy politics, but I love my mother. And I told her, if anything happened, I'll be there. And my sister told me that Mama had breast cancer. I resigned the next day. They had to send me my furniture and everything. I left everything. I was living in Riverfront Apartments in downtown Detroit, and I had another situation where I just walked away when Mama got in critical shape. I went back to Miami to take care of her again, and so. But I left Columbus that day. The next day, with no regrets. I was planning on running for the Senate and then Congress, and I was good politics. I passed 14 bills my first term. But mama, that's my heart. I'm a mama's boy, okay? I'd say, but if you had, just think about that, 6 months to live, what would you do? Well, let me tell you what I'll do. I'll continue to speak, and I'll spend more time with family members who want to spend time with me. Okay? Some of them they say, no, you get on my last name, but I can't handle you for more than a week. That's what my son Patrick says. I have some friends that I haven't seen for a while. I spend more time with. My very good friend Tommy Cave out of the Washington, D.C. area. I got friends in a variety of places, that I want to spend more time with, and I'm going to. Willie Jolly, Della Toro. I've got friends everywhere, speakers that I've trained. I think one of the things I plan to do is just have some events with them, but create some things that we can spend some special moments together. We can speak and talk trash and just enjoy each other. What would you do? I can do that. I can do that now. Sometimes what we do, we get so caught up in life, and one day we wake up and time's gone by. And I tell you, I'm shocked that I'm starting off my 75th year on the planet. Where did time go? Who does that? 75? Who does that? I mean, that's... what happened to the time? And so, but I'm glad I got a full head of hair. I got all my teeth except one. I'm much more overweight than I want to be, and I'm working on that. I'm going to get back to my weight of 175 pounds. That's 100 pounds away. But who does that? So here's what I would do. One, I will continue to speak. And I'll continue to spend more time with my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and my children. I've got some wonderful children. I really do. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. And friends. That's one of the things about, I've been looking for a sense of home. I've been moving around. And I haven't had a feeling of a sense of home. And since being in Atlanta with my sister Sharon and some people that I've connected with, for the first time since my mother passed in Liberty City, I have a feeling of home for the first time. Met some beautiful people here that we connect on a spiritual basis, on a spiritual level, and a soul level. I believe there's a good work for me to do here. And so this is it for me. This is it. This is where I'm going to be. And I'm excited about the possibilities, planning on doing some youth training. And I met a lady today, I was in Whole Dollar. You know what I'm talking about, Whole Dollar, old food. And she said, I said, what do you do? She said, I'm a psychiatrist. I said, oh, I need one. We need to talk. Oh, she has the cutest little daughter. But I'm so, I believe that I haven't done my best work yet. And I've been thinking about, leading up to my birthday yesterday, which happens to be, I'm in great company. Michael Jordan's birthday, Huey Newton's birthday, Jim Brown's birthday. I'm in good company up in here. Today is Dr. Johnny Coleman's birthday, a minister emeritus out of Christ Universal Temple Church out of Chicago. I'm in good company, good company. Her birthday is today. Yeah, Johnny was an electrifying speaker and changed millions of lives, and one of my spiritual mentors, and just an incredible woman. Miss Johnny, yes I do. So I want you to think about it. I'll tell you something else. I have 6 months to live. I'll take the time to go see the pyramids. I've been to 51 countries, all of them I wanted to go to. I've spoken in 51 countries. The only place I haven't been that I desire to go is to see the pyramids. I want to see them. Don't want to go in because I'm claustrophobic, but I'd like to see them up close and personal. I don't know any place else I'd like to go. And then I just spend the rest of my time here in Atlanta and go down to Miami. I think I'm planning on going down because it's a little cold in hot Atlanta. It's not hot now. It's cold here and a lot of rain. But what else would I do? I'll stop eating all the rabbit food I'm eating and start eating pork chops. Not even organic pork chops. Fried pork chops and fried chicken. And chitlins too. I'll start eating chitlins too. And pickled pig feet. And sweet potato pie. Oh my God, I got issues. Yes, they told me I was about to leave. Are you serious? Let me tell you something. But I would get me some chitlins. They don't have to be kosher. They don't have to be organic. Just straight up chitlins. Doesn't clean real well, all right? I got problems. That's why God had me to meet the psychiatrist today. I got issues. Okay, I promise I'm going to be good. I promise. Okay, I will. I'm just playing, but I'm serious. You think if I leave here, you come see me, I would have a pork chop in my head or fried chicken under my pillow. I met this brother. He is a funeral director, and we were on the elevator, and he was looking at me. I said, "What you looking at? Are you checking out my measurements?" He said, "No, man, no." I said, "All right, don't be looking too hard at me." Okay, like this page and share it. Now, so where would I go that I've been? Would I like to go back again? I'd like to go back to Dubai and South Africa. I really enjoyed Nigeria. I'd like to go to Ghana. I've never been to Ghana. I'd like to go back, but I was in Lagos. I enjoyed India. I had a wonderful time there as well. Bangalore. Yeah, I've been to a lot of countries. I like traveling. I like the culture and the difference. What would you do? And there's some speakers that I'll train 77 speakers. I'll spend a lot of time sharing things with them that I learned so they can continue my legacy and take it into the future. I will spend time with my kids, helping them to align themselves in what they want to do and working on what I'm passing on to my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And I would speak more often if I knew I had 6 months to live. I probably would speak every day. Yeah, because when I speak, I go to a different place. When I speak, something happens to me. Even when I'm in pain, when I speak, I don't feel pain. The sciatica or the little C. I think that's it. I think that's it. God's been good to me. Most people don't make 75. I'm still here. I'm still here. So I want to talk to you about living life on your terms. What would I say to the young Les Brown? I would say, Les Brown, develop the habit of winning. Losing is a habit. Les Brown, remember this quote by Warren Buffett. Habits, and I want you to write this down. Habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. Come on now, listen to me. Habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. That's a quote that you want to keep around you. Why? Because if you avoid developing habits that will sabotage your future, avoid the habits that will not serve you, avoid the habits that will prevent you from moving forward, you don't have to break the habit. That's the reason that I don't drink. Why would I need to do that for? That's the reason I don't smoke. Why? That's the reason I don't do drugs. Why? I don't want to have to engage in a process of having to break any habit that will compromise my health. It just didn't make sense to me. My mother sold moonshine and homebrew, and I remember people getting drunk and falling out on the floor and in the backyard, and I used to wonder, why would they do that? I never wanted to do anything that affected my mind. So develop habits that serve you, habits that help you to move in the direction of where you want to go, because you're not going to be young forever. I used to hear those words when I was young, and I said to myself, yeah. I couldn't see it. I couldn't look in the future and see myself being 60 or 65 or 70. I thought I'd be young for a long time, forever. And then one day I woke up. I was 60. Then seemed like overnight I was 65. Then overnight I was 70. Wow. Here's what I know. The older you get, the faster time moves. Here's what I know. The more money you owe, the faster the time moves to the end of the month. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. You ask anybody, I'm not making this up, okay? Here's what I know to be true, as Oprah would say. If you get three months behind on your bills, as 4 million Americans are 3 months behind on their car payments. If you get 3 months behind on your bills, I guarantee you it's going to take more than 3 months for you to catch up. I'm telling you what I know. Now, I'm grateful to be debt-free and drama-free. and so as you think about your life and looking at if you had 6 months to live, I encourage you, one, start creating the kind of life that you feel good about. And you have the power to do that. They did this study. They monitored and studied people who were going to see a psychiatrist for years. They were in therapy. And some of these people were diagnosed with a terminal illness. And once they discovered that, they stopped going to their therapist. Once they discovered that they had a terminal illness, all of a sudden they stopped, bam, and started living the rest of the life that they had. They had the power to do that all the time. And so as we look at ourselves and look at our goals, that every day when we wake up, we have the power to say, here's what I'm going to create today to make this the greatest version of myself, to make this the most productive use of my time. Here's what I'm going to create today that will give me a sense of meaning and fulfillment and laughter and fun and happiness. Here's what I'm going to create today. Have a list of things that you want to do every day. That's for you. That's for you. I've been spending time this day, the first day after my birthday, making a list of things that I'm no longer going to take on. A list of problems that they're not my problems. I'm not going to do them anymore. No, I won't do that anymore. Because when I looked at, if I had 6 months to live, would I continue to do this over here? Would I continue to communicate with this person here? If I had 6 months to live, would I take this phone call here? If I had 6 months to live, would I be involved in this foolishness here? You know I know it's foolishness. Yes, I know. Yeah. And I say no. I made a list of the things I would do and the things I would discontinue doing. And guess what? Everything that I decided not to do, everything, I wrote it down and I felt so good. I felt so good. The burden was lifted. I no longer felt under the gun, pressured. And it was self-imposed stress, self-imposed pressure. We're going to check out. All of us have an expiration date. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Remember Michael Jackson said, "This is it. My last tour." Yeah, it was it, but not the way that he thought. And so here's a scripture. I say this every day, several times a day. And it seems like it just goes out a positive energy. I say it from a place of excited optimism and expectation. All things work together for good for those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. And then I'll paraphrase it. All things work together for good for me because I love God. And I'm called for his purpose. I'm called to do his work. And he's ordering my steps. And he will send me everybody and everything I need to get the job done. I was thinking about having a studio. I needed some equipment. And then Jerry, who works with me, my assistant, he talked to a guy named Ed, and he saw Ed had some radio and podcast equipment and TV equipment, and called this guy, and I got a chance to meet with him, and looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. And I'm going to get it. Then I said, I need a studio. At first I was going to do it at my sister's house. I said, no, I need a studio. I want to start bringing in my speakers and producing products and building for the future, you know. And I've got 3 different places that have been identified. People call and said, hey, I've got some space here that you can use. All things work together for good for me because I love God and I'm called to do his work. I'm called for the purpose of changing people's lives. See, when you have goals and dreams, see, a lot of people think, oh boy, I've got to do it by myself, but I don't have enough money, I don't have enough contacts, I don't have the education. Oh, no. Don't ask how you're going to do it. Lean not unto thine own understanding. Why? Because what's most important is to make the commitment. Make the commitment that you're going to do it. And you're going to have people who are assigned to you. I believe they're angels. People who will help you. People who will provide money, people who will provide assistance, people who will open doors for you. I can't tell you the unnamed people who recommended me to speak for their church or to speak for their organization or to speak for their company. People say, how'd you get here? Well, I gave a lot of free speeches for a long time. They say a calling is something that you love so much you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. What I loved about working with Judd Armstrong today, as we were working and practicing during the interviews, I knew he was well read. I knew that he was a reader. I knew that he studied. And that touched my heart. Why? Because there's some people, because of their ego, they just want to jump up and just run their mouth. But he studied to show thyself approved. I can tell who's real and who's not. You can't run no game on me. I've seen a thing or two. I know a thing or two. And so I enjoyed that we were compatible spirits. When I look at Kareem Ellis, boy, you're talking about a young man that's hungry. Oh my goodness, he's hungry. And he reads, he studies. I know he's the real deal. And so when I look at Randy Brooks and Michael Ponte, these are people who study. And you want to align yourself, and that's the next thing, with people that's going in your direction. I'm going to surround myself with a lot of positive energy, people that I enjoy being with, and I'm going to get some projects. I'm going to reduce the recidivism rate and the incarceration rate. I've got some friends looking so I can get a Les Brown halfway house. My goal is to work with ex-offenders. My mother was once incarcerated, so I have a passion for them. But I'm going to do all the work that I've been envisioning doing, because I don't have to speak publicly anymore. I don't have to. I've been blessed. It's a wonderful thing. People say, money won't make you happy. But Red Fox said, yeah, but it can make a hell of a down payment. Red Fox knew what he was talking about. You hear me? I like Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Can you feel it, brother? Up in here, up in here. Let me see some love signs and some the thumbs up and some hearts. All right? Yes, and pass the word, and I want you to like this page and like it and share it, like it and share it. That's what people say. I got to learn the languaging and the style of technology for these new millennials. And so when you start thinking about, if I had 6 months to live, and we don't know how much time we have left. There's a cause I'm going to inject myself into. It's not in the headlines in the media. Nobody's talking about it. My brother's wife, Juanita, her nephew out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, Juanita, and my brother Wesley, my twin brother. Her nephew went to school on a bus, got off the bus, walked down a few blocks, and stepped in front of a train. Committed suicide. 15 years old. Stepped in front of a train. The train was blowing its horn, and he didn't move. Wham! It took him out. No. Straight A student. Out of here. Gone. But listen to this. The suicide rate of African American kids between 5 and 12, between 5 and 12, has doubled. How do you decide at 5 years old that your life is so tragic, so painful, that the environment that you're in is so toxic and so unbearable that you have enough intelligence to discover a way to take your life, but not enough clarity of mind to ask for help or run away from home at 5 years of age. If you can figure out at 5 years of age how to kill yourself, it seems to me that you can figure out, who do I need to tell that I'm being molested or being abused, being bullied or being taken advantage of? Who do I need to talk to? I believe ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. I remember taking a few speakers to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I told these speakers, I said, we're going to be at several schools today. I'd sure like to do that again. I had about 5 speakers with me. I don't know anybody who's done this. And I said, one of the best things about speaking is learning to listen. Listen, not just coming in talking to these kids, but listen to what they say to us. And fortunately, I came over to one of the schools and they were having questions and answers. And a little girl asked a question. She raised her hand and she said, hello, hey ma'am, what do you do if somebody touch you in the wrong place? And my speaker said, oh, just report it to the principal. And just went on to the next question. I said, hey, how can we just leave here? We need to have a conversation with her. We can't just tell her, you think that she needed you or me to come here and tell her to go to the principal's office? That took a lot of courage on her part to ask the question, what do you do if somebody touches you in the wrong way? Something's happening with this little girl. And she had the courage in public to ask the question. We can't leave here now. We got to deal with this. And we did. And we worked to get her out of that house, out of that environment where she was being sexually abused. And when you look at what's happening today, my granddaughter called me, and her niece, her brother's daughter in Columbus, Ohio, had her taken to Children's Hospital. She came to school and said, I don't want to be here anymore. And they said, what school you want to go to? No, I don't want to be here anymore. And she's thinking about suicide. They got her on a suicide watch. And I think, one, we've got to empower our kids and teach them how to communicate, how to say no to people who try and take advantage of them, and to tell it. Now, here's the tragic part, that a friend of mine who was sexually abused, she told her mother, and her mother beat the hell out of her. You must have done something to bring it on yourself. Isn't that something? That's why a lot of these kids don't tell. And what do you do when your mother won't believe you? When her mother's boyfriend came home, he said, I told you not to tell. You get in trouble. Eye was blackened, lips burst. He raped her that night. got her pregnant. She had the baby. Then he started molesting his own child at 3. There's some sick people in this world. If I had 6 months to live, I would spend a lot of time and energy on collaborating with other people to find a way to impact child abuse and sexual abuse among children. Decrease the number of young kids and men and women being incarcerated. There's some cruelty going on in these prisons that don't hit the news because people don't care. Being treated like animals, less than animals. Yeah. So I said, I don't know how much time I got left. So that's what I'm going to do. Work with ex-offenders and homeless people. And hope that in prisons and juvenile detention centers and jails would bring in my motivational materials. The Les Brown 1-year pre-release success program. That's what I'm working on. Yeah. What would you do if you knew you had 6 months to live? What would you do? If I had 6 months to live, I would spend more time in silence saying, "Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth thee." I see things I want to do, but what do you want me to do? I want to make my performance superior to my prayers. I believe, as Mary McLeod Bethune said, pray as if everything depends upon God, and work as if everything depends upon you. You have something special. I don't know what you're dealing with. Here's what I know. You're stronger than you realize. Here's what I know. Greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. Here's what I know. It's easy to have faith and say God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. When your bills are paid, your marriage working out, the children acting like they have good sense, you have your health. It's good. It's easy to have faith then. It's easy when all is well. It's easy when you don't have any drama. It's easy when you're not in any pain. It's easy to have faith and no tragedy has happened to you or someone you care about. Oh yeah, it's easy then to praise him. Mm-hmm. Yes, baby finger, it's easy then. But what do you do? The doctor looks at you like they did with me a few weeks ago at Cancer Centers of America and say, you got 4th stage cancer. What do you do? You know, stuff. All of us have some stuff. What do you do when someone that you love commits suicide? you lose a child, or someone you love dies. My son John Leslie called me. His friend's mother died, and he's taking it real bad. I said, when you see him, get with him. Call me and let me talk to him. Let me talk to him. I know what he's going through. Let me talk to him. You still have your mother. You still have your father. Let me talk to him. Develop the habits and embrace the habits that represent the highest that is in you. The things that you know that best serve you, things that would represent the next greatest version of yourself. Ask yourself, what is the best representation of who I am? The choices I make, the relationships that I've developed, and the people I hang around, the places that I go, and the things that I do. Do they represent the best in me? I'm talking to you because of God's grace and mercy. I believe the world consists of the caught and the uncaught. I've done some things that if I had to do over again, I would do them differently. Things that I'm not proud of. And I made some mistakes, done some dumb, stupid things. I don't go by that, oh, if you knew better, you'd do better. I knew better. I knew what I was doing. And I did it anyhow. Paul said, things I shouldn't do, I do, and the things I should do, I don't do. I knew better. Had my life to live over again, I would be a better person. A better human being. I'll become the man I never became. I'll be a better father. One area I would give myself an A in, I took care of my mama. See, you're not going to make A's in every area. You're going to have some area where you have failed. If I had to grade myself as a father, I probably would give myself a D+, because even though I've never had the mother of my children drag me to court to pay child support, never had to do that, you know, I did it voluntarily, but money was not enough. There's so much more I could have done and I didn't. I didn't do it. And I can't unscramble those eggs. No. But if I had my life to live over again, I'll be a better father. Now, I'll give myself an A because I'm a great grandfather, all right? My grandchildren, they love Papa, so they call me Papa or Daddy's Papa. I wish I'd had my grandchildren and great-grandchildren first, okay? Because I had a lot of practice with the first crop. You know, I told you I was suing those people who came up with the rhythm method. Yeah, whatever. The rhythm method. I got your rhythm method. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I got 10 kids. Talking about a rhythm method. I had some rhythm. Oh, stop it. Behave. Okay, all right. I'm a baby Christian. I need to find that psychiatrist card I met today in Whole Foods. I gotta call her before I go to sleep. Say, can I have an appointment tomorrow? I just got through talking about crazy people on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm as crazy as you can get. And Mama say, you crazy nincompoop. Oh, Baby Brown has some names for you. Do you hear me? Oh my gosh, she has some names for you. Okay. I hope I brought some laughter and hope I had you think. Now, this is a commercial. This is only for a certain number of people. Most of you can't afford to have my coaching one-on-one. But those of you who are ready to learn how to tell your story, make a difference, and build a business, and you want to learn from somebody who has done it, been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, okay? I'm the one. If you don't believe it, if you don't think I can speak, just go on YouTube and put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I don't know another motivational speaker that has a presentation. The Georgia Dome no longer exists. So if you haven't done it, then you won't be able to do it. Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. And I'm speaking to over 80,000 people. 80,000 people. So he who has ear, let him hear. He who has a story and want to make national and global impact, and ready to be coachable. What I loved about Judd Armstrong, who flew in from Australia, Judd is coachable. Well, I'm still with Mike Williams, who wrote the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. My mentor, I wrote the foreword for it, The Road to Your Best Stuff by Mike Williams. I encourage you to get that book. If you're serious about your goals and your dreams, it would lead you to your best stuff, methods and techniques. He's a strategic thinker, brilliant man. No one has done what he has done with me. I didn't even know this Les Brown existed. Mike Williams. And you can get it on Amazon too. The Road to Your Best Stuff. He led me to my best stuff. I thought I would be a disc jockey for the rest of my life. That's all I could see myself doing. And I was good too. You ask people in Columbus, Ohio. You ask about Les Brown, the man about town. You ask him. I was dealing with issues and editorializing for years in the 80s and the 70s before it was popular. They'll tell you. Say, have you ever heard of Les Brown? You ask some of the older people. They'll tell you. Mamie Brown's baby boy? Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, he was on there with Bill Moss and Eddie Saunders. Yeah, Les Brown, he came on in the morning. Playing a song, Lift Every Voice and Sing. It had Jesse Jackson saying, I am somebody. I am God's child. That was the introduction to his show. Every day he told us about yes, we can and yes, we will. I used to be bad. Back in the day, homie was bad, but used to be don't make no honey. I was just, as George Wallace, the famous comedian, would say, my very good friend, I be thinking. I be thinking. And if some of these people get on Facebook and do all the kind of stuff I see, the fights and the nastiness and the ugliness that they expose to the world, I can get on here and share some ideas and some thoughts and make you feel good. Warren Buffett, what did he say? Habits are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. If you're looking for someone to be your speech coach, your mentor, you're ready to invest in yourself, email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com. 7 is my lucky number, lesbrown77@gmail.com. And have somebody vet, because I don't want to work with everybody. Just want to work with a few people. Les Brown, I don't work with just 7 people at a time, really. lesbrown77@gmail.com. I hope you've enjoyed this moment of reflection. Every day I want to do something. Have a quote, have a scripture, have a conversation that can touch somebody. I met a young man today, and he said, I'm here because of you. I was going through such a tough time, Mr. Brown. I was supposed to be out of town, and I asked Rick, "Can I go with you? You going to videotape Les Brown?" I'm alive because of him. And another person's alive. I was going through such pain, I decided I was going to distribute the pain. I was going to pass it around. I was going to kill myself, but first I was going to kill somebody else first, and then I was going to kill myself. I was going to kill my wife, and then I was going to kill myself. And then, I don't know how I got your book. It's not over. Tell you when, how I ran across your motivational materials and listened, and it interrupted my thinking. And I'm standing here because of you. I came here to be with him. I say, can I carry the camera? Can I do anything? I just want to be in the room with him and say, thank you for keeping me alive. Boy, and we just hugged. He's a young man, very young. We just hugged and cried. And I'm just thankful that God used me as an instrument. Where am I going next week? Where am I be in California?
Burbank.
Burbank, California?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I speaking for?
City something. It's city.
Where do I go from Burbank?
Bend, Oregon.
Bend, Oregon. All right, that's B-E-N-D.
B-E-N-D.
Oregon, and that's Gail Kingsbury. And what do you know the theater where I'm going to be speaking? I've never been to Oregon. You don't know that one? Very helpful, thank you. And then where do I go from there?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yes.
And what's the date on that?
That's the weekend of the 2nd.
Weekend of
First and the 2nd.
First and 2nd of March.
Mm-hmm.
And who will I be speaking for there?
iMarcus Live.
iMarcus Live. iMarcus Live. Fantastic. Look out. I'm hungry, iMarcus Live, to get to you. This is Les Brown saying, see you in Las Vegas, see you in Bend, Oregon, and see you where?
Burbank.
In Burbank, California. When will I be there?
This coming weekend.
This coming weekend.
This coming weekend.
All
Academy
right.
Awards on Sunday. You got to get your award.
I'm going to get a special award.
You're gonna dress up.
I'm going to dress up. James Bentley's doing
Bentley,
this.
that's
I
right.
get Michelle Obama's going to be there too. Oh, okay, all right. My mama said my mouth is like a refrigerator. I can't keep nothing. Well, okay. I thank you for all the love and prayers that you've shown me and my family over the years. And for those of you that I've been blessed to influence and to inspire and motivate you, I thank you for holding me up in prayer. My doctor, he said, what did Dr. Taha say at Cancer Centers of America?
You won't die from cancer.
That I won't die from cancer. Come on, somebody. Now, look here. Here's the man, one of the top oncologists at Cancer Centers of America. He said, you will not die from cancer. He said, same man who said, you are fourth stage. When that time, how long ago was it?
2 months, maybe.
2 months ago. He said, did they tell you you're fourth stage cancer? And I said, no. And that had metastasized, right?
Bone.
To the bone. And I had a fracture.
Yes.
In my spinal area. But he said this last visit, let me tell you something. Cancer, they don't know anything about the God that I serve. Let me tell you something. Up it here. He said, you will not die from cancer. What a mighty God we serve.
To the degree that he can say that, but
To the degree that he could say that. Well, I'm still here, so I'm living proof.
the challenge is
The challenge is defeating the diabetes.
and you're gonna do that.
I'm doing it. I'm in the process. I'm eating a lot of wabbit food. That's why Dwight Pledger called me a silly wabbit. I'm eating a lot of wabbit food. I just ate about 7 or 8 Brussels sprouts. Eating a lot of wabbit food and broccoli, raw and cooked. I'm saying, no, I'm not tired of wabbit food. I love wabbit food. I do. Okay. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege.